This is part 2 of our anime. When they got back to Japan, they found out that Ye's ex was also from space, and Ren's mission was to open a portal through the magic stone. Raven informed them that Ye's ex's spaceship made a mistake in landing in England, so he had to wait for Ren. As they returned home, he went to his old warehouse, which Vivian had cleaned and turned into a bedroom. Vivian remembered that she saw something while she was cleaning and she handed it back to Ren. When Ren saw it, he remembered that it was one of his favorite things when he was young. When Vivian asked about what was written on it, Ren suddenly remembered that it was the same as what he saw in the dream dimension. He took the steel plate that he got in the dream dimension that was lost, but he found it again while he was doing the laundry. Vivian wondered that Ren might have been in the dream dimension when he was young. One day Ren was summoned by Raven to her office, and while he was on his way, he saw a woman singing. While he was watching and listening to her, the woman noticed and waved at him. Soren waved back. When he arrived at Raven's office, she seemed not in a good mood. This was because the new tenant was supposed to be directed to Earth, but it unexpectedly landed on a planet that was 895 light-years away from them. So Raven gave him a mission to go to this planet and get the new tenant. Ren was about to complain, but Raven just scolded him, and he could not do anything but obey her orders. Raven showed the Kuiper space station, and with the upgraded terminal, Ren could go there using the space teleport function. He would take a spacecraft and use it to go to the planet that she was referring to. Since the planet was surrounded by the ocean, Raven also invited a sea expert who would come with him on this mission. The woman he saw singing earlier entered the room, and she was the sea expert that Raven was talking about. Ren was surprised when he found out that she would also become his tenant. When they got home, this woman introduced herself as Yui. She informed them that her mother was a mermaid, but she grew up on Earth. Because Ye's ex knew a lot about outer space better, Ren chose him as his second assistant. The next morning, the data terminal brought them to the Kuiper space station. They were met by a female alien who guided them in the area. She took them to the spacecraft which they would use to travel, and when they saw it, the data terminal asked them to board the spacecraft. Ren mentioned that it was too big, so the data terminal informed them that they would also move to a smaller aircraft once they were already close to their destination. Once they completed the mission, Raven would also send a new spacecraft to take them back. The spacecraft had a captain who informed them that he was the one to operate it. After a few moments, the spacecraft was activated and was ready for their departure. When they were on the flight, they entertained themselves with a card game. After a few hours, the data terminal told them to prepare for the transfer to the smaller aircraft. But at that moment, they caught up with the competitor of their spacecraft, and since the captain did not want to lose on the race, he forgot to move them to their next airship. Because of this, the data terminal forced Rin to move to the smaller aircraft. They immediately went to the location of the small aircraft, and the data terminal said that he would be the one to control it. But their problem was the exit of the big aircraft, which was still closed, and the control for its opening was not covered by the data terminal. So Ye's ex volunteered to be the one who would open it, and using his power as a demon, he successfully opened the exit door. After that, they were able to get out from the big spacecraft, and when they entered on the planet, they fell into the sea. After they got out of the aircraft, Yui immediately transformed into a mermaid and immediately saved Rin from drowning. When Rin woke up, he realized that he was inside the hut in the dream dimension. According to the data terminal, he went to the dream dimension again due to his spirit instability from the drowning, but his real body was saved by Yui, and they also knew his condition. Suddenly, they heard something, and when he came out, he saw the red wolves who wanted to attack the blue wolves. When they attacked, Rin quickly came to stop it with his shield. Because of this, the red wolves immediately retreated. The leader of the wolves asked about the dentist that he promised, and since he did not send one, he just promised to bring the dentist next time. Because he helped them, the leader of the wolves still trusted him. Then he asked about the thing which he got the last time when he came there. The wolf recognized the writing as the lost ancient language which was used in a ritual. Ren wanted to ask more questions, but the terminal told him that he had no more time. Because of this, he woke up in his real body. The terminal showed them the map where they could see the parts of the aircraft that the new tenant had boarded, but it detected two, and one was in the ocean. While the girls were eating, Lily noticed that all the food that Vivian cooked had garlic in it. Because of this, Lily was worried that she might become weak because her sense of smell was sensitive to this. But after a few moments, Lily's worries came true, and she suddenly became weak and lost her consciousness. A few seconds later, she suddenly woke up and immediately pushed Vivian away from her. When she was about to leave the house, Vivian stopped her and could not understand why Lily was acting like this. On the other hand, Ren and the others went to the one located on the ground first, and after a few hours of walking, they reached the area. Soren started to tear the parts of the spacecraft, but when he finished, they still did not find the tenant there. The data terminal noticed that it was not the cargo cabin, and based on its analysis, there was a high possibility that the tenant was in the cargo cabin. Because of this, they went to the other half of the aircraft, which was in the ocean. Yuri immediately jumped into the water and transformed into her mermaid form. Since she could carry a person with her in the water, she asked Rin to come with her. Without a warning, Yazex picked Rin up and threw him into the sea. When Ren was brought into the depths of the sea, he had trouble holding his breath. But when he opened his mouth, he found out that he could breathe in the water. This was one of Yuri's abilities as a mermaid, that she was able to control the water around them. Aside from being able to breathe, he became immune to the strong pressure. They were about to continue diving down the sea when a giant fish suddenly appeared. It was about to attack them, so Yuri quickly transformed into a giant octopus and caused the giant fish to be afraid, so it quickly swam away from them. Besides an octopus, Yuri could also transform into other sea creatures such as a mantis shrimp. She asked Rin to get on her back in order to speed up their descent. When they got to the bottom of the sea, they saw the cargo cabin. Yuri transformed into a sea snake and did something around the cargo cabin so Rin could move around it comfortably. When they opened it, they still did not see the new tenant there. Soren decided to call Raven to ask her, but Yuri noticed something, and when she opened it, she saw things which were for the baby and a big egg. When Rin talked to Raven, he showed her the content of the cargo cabin, and when Raven saw the egg that Yuri was holding, she told them that it was the tenant that they were looking for. After they talked to Raven, they brought the egg to the seashore and they waited for the spacecraft to take them back to Earth. A few moments later, a spacecraft arrived, and Raven was also on board. When they entered it, Raven told Rin that this spacecraft was already his. Then they talked about the egg which, according to Raven, was the egg of a mermaid from another world. Because of the apocalypse that happened in its world and exterminated the species living there, the egg was the only one left alive. After the mission, they got back to the house and they were surprised by all the mess around the room. They saw Vivian, who was pulling Lily, who was already tight because she had not yet returned to her normal behavior. When Vivian was about to explain, Lily was able to break free from being bound and attacked Rin. But she was blocked by the shield. Then she noticed the egg that Yuri was holding, which she thought was food. She was about to attack again. Luckily, Yazex stopped her. While Yazex was holding her tightly, Vivian told them all the things that happened while they were on the mission. Rin fought to take Lily to Raven because she might be able to help them, but the data terminal said that it would be difficult for him to teleport Lily because she was not stable yet. Fortunately, Yazex had another way to do this, and Vivian remembered what she had heard before about demons who were good at teleport magic. Through this, they arrived at Raven's office and saw her having her lunch. They did not realize that Lily had gotten away from Yazex and was currently biting Raven's leg. Raven held her hand to examine Lily by staring at her. When Lily calmed down, Raven asked her what she was seeing in her eyes. Lily answered that she could see the red moon, and on this moon, there were people that melt in the ocean. Then she mentioned that she wanted to get stronger and was about to attack, but Raven just flicked Lily's forehead and this put her to sleep. When Lily got back to normal, Raven said that she could see the signs of Lily's evolution. This meant that she would soon acquire a new ability of their race. Then Raven told Rin to use the enhancement center to stabilize Lily. After doing the process, Lily returned to her normal behavior. She said that she could not remember much of what happened, but she was sure that she did something wrong. They sent the others to the house first, then he went to Raven's office to let her know that Lily was fine. But Raven told him to look after Lily because this might happen again to her by the time of the full moon. They looked at the calendar and saw that the next full moon would occur the next day. Since Raven had a lot to do on that day, she left everything to Rin and ordered him to take care of Lily. When Ren returned to his world, he went shopping for things that they needed on a night camping. He came across a man on the road, and the man looked at him. When he got home, he found Vivian cooking something smelly. She told him that it would help for spirit stabilization. But Ren was worried about its effect because with just a small drop, it could melt even the concrete floor. During the night of the full moon, they set up their camp on the mountain. A few hours had passed, but Lily had not yet transformed, and they were all sleepy until they all fell asleep while Lily continued to eat spicy sticks. When Lily came out, she stared at the moon. Rin suddenly woke up, so he came out immediately to check on Lily. The others were also outside and saw the new transformation of Lily. Just in case Lily attacked them, Yazex had prepared a defense spell to make them safe. After a few moments, they were surprised when Lily's whole appearance changed into a giant creature. The data terminal informed them that it was a Siberian husky. Rin tried to approach her, and when he was close, she just licked him after recognizing him. When Lily hauled, the two men heard it and they talked about their plans on her. Vivian called Lily and fed her with a sleeping pill that she created. Instead of putting her to sleep, Lily felt something strange. She ran away from them and headed towards the town. They immediately chased after her to avoid her from causing trouble. Ren told Yazex to use his strength and try to stop Lily. Then he asked Vivian to put him on Lily's back. When Yazex tried to stop Lily, he was not able to defend himself from Lily's attack. Because of this, Vivian used her power to imprison Lily. This was a moment when Rin got on Lily and tried to calm her down. Suddenly they heard someone singing, and it turned out to be Yui. Vivian remembered that the mermaid's song had a special power, and because of this, Lily calmed down. When Lily fell asleep, she transformed into her wolf form, and after a while, into her human form. Since Vivian and the others still needed to keep their things, Rin went home first while carrying Lily. He did not know that the two men were already on the roof of his house. When he was able to get Lily inside, he was attacked by one of these men and immediately lost his consciousness. Lily dreamed that she was floating in space. When she noticed the glove that she was wearing, a metal claw came out of it and it was cold. The same thing happened on her other hand but was warm. She felt sleepy, so she fell asleep again. When she woke up, she was in a room which was not familiar to her, so she thought that Ren's house might be under renovation. She was about to come out, but she was electrocuted and found out that the room had a barrier. Then the two men who abducted her appeared. They told her that they were her allies, and it was the blood sect or Vivian who was the one that bewitched her. But she did not immediately believe them, so these men decided to lock her up for a while. She tried to force her way out of there, but the man put her back to sleep. They did not know that Vivian's pet was also inside the room and it was about to go out. When the men noticed it and tried to catch it, on the other hand, Vivian found Ren unconscious in the house. So they woke him up. When they asked where Lily was, it was the moment when Rin remembered what happened and told them everything about it. They immediately thought that these men had abducted Lily, but they had no idea who were these people and where they possibly taken her. This was when Vivian's pet came in, which was used to be one of Lily's covers. Rin scanned it using the data terminal to get information, and from what was discovered, they could tell that Lily was in a steel plant nearby the industrial estate, and he had a hunch that Lily might be brought there. To speed up their search, they decided to split up and find Lily. Meanwhile, one of Lily's abductors equipped the steel plant with a barrier so that no one could easily enter. Vivian sent her pets to investigate the area, but one of them was affected by this barrier. When they approached the building, they also noticed the black smoke that surrounded it. Yui and Yazex went to another building, but when they were about to enter it, Yazex accidentally broke the door. Because of this, the people inside the room did not let them leave the building yet. Vivian tried to throw a stone on the building, and they saw what the smoke could do to something that touched it. But since it was another type of magic, she thought that it might not be able to affect Rin. When Vivian was about to take Rin upstairs to enter the building, they were seen by one of Lily's abductors named Yuan. He faced and immediately attacked them. Fortunately, Vivian immediately blocked his attack. Yuan transformed into a werewolf and repeatedly attacked Vivian and Rin. As Yazex was forced to play with those who Lee disturbed, Vivian continued to fight against Yuan. Vivian managed to injure him, then he asked her if she was the Countess of the Crimson Moon. They reached the part of the building with dark smoke. He confirmed that Vivian's suspicion was correct, that he would not be affected by its magic. He hurriedly entered the building, but he was immediately attacked by another werewolf. Even though it repeatedly attacked Rin, his shield only blocked it. Because he was just running away from the enemy, his data terminal came out and told him to fight. It taught him what to do until the enemy attacked him again. He was able to avoid it, but he jumped so high that he forgot about the physical enhancement, and this caused him to go straight to the top. When he saw the fire sprinkler, he thought of a way to divert the attention of his opponent. He opened it all and went to Lily's location. They were about to leave the place through the stairs but were blocked by the enemy. After a few moments, Vivian came there with Yui and whom she had already beaten. When Yuan's brother found out that Vivian was the Countess of the Crimson Moon, he immediately thought that she was spying on Lily, and she forced her to go with them. Because of this, Rin begged them to listen to his explanation. The two calmed down and listened to Rin as he explained that their suspicion about Vivian and their group was wrong, but the two also mentioned the prophecy that was about to happen. They were referring to the moment when all of the outcasts would regain their strength. But their talk was interrupted when the demon hunters suddenly came there. Rin tried to talk to them and asked the demon hunters not to attack, but they did not listen to him, and when they attacked, he immediately created a shield. After the opponents stopped shooting, Ren and the others quickly ran, but the enemies continued to attack them using their weapons. While he was protecting his companions, Vivian also acted so that she could distract the other demon hunters. Lily also started to fight back and disperse the demon hunters. She left the building. Ren made the brothers close their eyes and used the terminal to blind the remaining demon hunters so they could get out of the building. But the opponents were able to teleport, and the demon hunters caught them right away. Rin faced the female demon hunter while the leader and another demon hunter were against the werewolf brothers. When the girl attacked Rin, his shield was automatically activated. The woman wondered what kind of creature Rin was. Even though Rin said that he was just a human, the woman did not believe him because there was no human that had the same strength and speed like what he possessed. The woman thought that Rin might be from a new species, so she wanted to take him in so they could study him. As Rin rushed at her, the woman did not stop attacking him either until he got a chance to punch her in one of his attacks. When he heard the sound of the werewolf, he quickly went to it. Yuan's older brother was hit by a bullet, so Yuan immediately rushed to attack the enemy. He managed to stop a demon hunter, but he was attacked by the enemy's leader. Rin suddenly came there, and after a while, Lily also arrived. When Lily saw Yuan's condition, she started using her new ability. The demon hunter's leader tried to attack her, but she only blocked him. Lily created a tornado of ice and fire and threw it at the enemies. The demon hunters used a shield to protect themselves, and when the tornado disappeared, they found out that Ren's group had escaped. When they reached the forest, Vivian also came after a while. Yui and Yazax arrived at their location. Using Yui's cure magic, she tried to heal Yuan. After a few minutes, she successfully healed him, but suddenly they were attacked by a demon hunter, and while he was trying to attack them, Yazax immediately stopped him. It turned out the demon hunter's leader was also there, and he tried to attack Yazax, but his dagger just melted before it reached him. He attacked again with more daggers, but the same thing happened. Rin tried to just talk to him, but the demon hunter refused, so Yazax dropped a meteor towards them. In his fear, the enemy ran quickly, but because of Yazax's magic, he was able to bring him back. Then he flicked its head, causing a demon hunter to immediately lose his consciousness. While the brothers decided to leave to give a report to their clan about what happened that day. When Ren's group was about to leave with the two demon hunters, the female demon hunter suddenly came there and threatened Yui. After a while, they heard a voice from a person who also introduced himself as a demon hunter. It turned out to be Samba, and he was the one who negotiated on both sides to prevent the fight. So Ren's group released the two demon hunters in exchange for Yui. The female demon hunter left immediately with her companions, but after a while, they heard them shouting in the forest, and it was done by the data terminal because he had already reported it to Raven, and it did not let them escape anymore. When Yui had a fight with Samba, it was only here that they found out that the two were siblings. When they got home, they got more information about Yui and Samba. Samba told them that their father was a demon hunter and this motivated him to become like him, but both of their parents suddenly disappeared, so Yui tried to travel and venture to find them. After they told their stories, Vivian and Lily teased each other and got into another fight. Suddenly, someone rang the doorbell at the house, and it was Samba who opened it. It turned out to be Yuan and his brother, and they were shocked that there was a demon hunter there. Ren tried to stop them, but they both attacked again, so Yazak got in control. When they entered the house, it was the moment that Ren clarified the situation. Vivian asked the brothers about their purpose for coming. When they answered, they said that they wanted to recruit them all to join their clan. But Vivian rejected them immediately, so these men took out gold because they knew that this was Vivian's weakness. Suddenly, the whole house lost its source of light, and when Yui looked at the kitchen, there was no water either. Then when they realized that they had not yet paid the bills, since none of his tenants had any money, Rin went into his room to be alone. The next day when he woke up, Vivian and the others were no longer there. He still did not have water supply, so he begged the data terminal to teleport him to Raven's office. While Lily and the others found ways to help her and pay the bills. When Rin arrived at Raven's office, he convinced her to lend him money. They had also discussed the demon hunters that they captured, as well as the prophecy. Because of the steel plate that Rin got from the dream dimension, he remembered that there might be a prophecy engraved on it. He asked her if there was a connection between the outcasts and the dream dimension. It was only here that he found out that most of the outcasts on Earth were from the dream dimension. Then he got back to his house, and he was surprised that his house had already its source of electricity. When he entered, all of his tenants were there waiting for him. Since all of them looked for a way to earn money, they were able to pay the bills. Apart from this, they had also prepared a little food to share. This is the end of the last episode of the Journal of the Mysterious Creatures. I hope you like it and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss newly uploaded videos. Thank you for watching.